Marshall Pruett, Robin Miller, and we're quiet.
We're using our inside voices.
We're inside today because it's kind of loud out there. The Indy lights are running. But I can just tell you this. If you're an IndyCar fan and you were in Indianapolis today, for $10 you could have come out here and seen a preview to the race, because for 4 hours, just about everybody that has a car was out pounding around.
Crazy.
It was the conga line, 19-car conga line, and nobody crashed and nobody hit each other, but there was a lot of dice. I mean, it looked like the race.
It did look like the race, and I'm really thankful that, as you said, there were no accidents, no problems. We got to see Ed Jones go quick right away. I think it's fourth lap. He sat on top of the speed charts for a good portion of the day. Max Chilton, not someone we necessarily would have predicted would have been at the top, came out on top. We had 3 Hondas fastest, Chevy right up there, so good mix. Granted, that fastest Honda was 1.5 miles, getting close to 2 miles an hour faster than the best Chevy, so that might also be a preview for race day.
And rookie Jack Harvey, who certainly had his issues and challenges in his first few days here at the Speedway, had the fastest non-tow lap of 2:24 in, that's right, Mike Shank's Honda. So the Andretti team, brother, I'm telling you, all 6 cars are fast.
Which we're happy to see for them. The Ganassi cars are fast. The Coyne cars are fast. I mean, it seems like if you got a Honda, you're in pretty good shape. Penske's, we're seeing the same trend. Simon Pagenaud was quick. He'd actually been one of the slower Penske cars for most of the week. He was pretty quick today, but there weren't a whole bunch of Penske's up front. So we've seen some changes. Again, Max Chilton, didn't expect him to be on top, but there's some other trends that have seemed to be continuing from practice, from qualifying now into the final full day of practice. We have Carb Day, 1 hour, but this is really where you get a feel for who's got what.
Oriol Servia lost an engine. Now, as you pointed out, he was going to change to his race day. We'll all have new engines except Fernando Alonso, James Davison, and the one-offs in May. But is that Honda's concern right now? Maybe reliability on race day?
It has to be. I mean, the thing is, they're not going to get many miles on those motors going into the race. You can say for sure that a lot of the failures that we've seen later in the week, you could say that they are high mileage, something that we've seen from both manufacturers in the past, where you start getting that 2,500 mile change-out limit, and or minimum, I should say, and that's where you start to lose motors. So,
and they're pretty big explosions, aren't they?
Yeah, we've seen parts left on the track over the last month to 6 weeks. We've seen a lot, mostly internal stuff here. When you see the big smoke or other stuff coming out of the exhausts, you know that there was something funny that happened between oil and water internally. They mixed and they shouldn't, but we have seen where there's been a lot of oil left on the track. Again, these are practice motors coming in that have done the GP of Indy, for example, Robin. But yeah, I think everyone who wants to see a good race is crossing their fingers the race day motors are happy.
Sure. James Davison got some laps in, and which basically a road race car for Dale Coyne as Sebastian Bourdais' backup. Ran 2:23, and the kid's done a good job in the 2 times he's been here before, so it's no real surprise.
I love the kid. He's a little fighter, and we don't get to see him that often, but you've seen him run. We've seen him on the road course with Dale Coyne. We've seen him here at the 500 with Dale, with KV. This kid hasn't been in an IndyCar in 2 years, Robin, and his first time lap was a 2:17. I mean, he only got up to 2:23 in a car that really couldn't do a lot more than that because it doesn't have all the polish and all the stuff that you do to make the super speedway car go from 2:23 up to 2:28. But yeah, this kid's not the popular choice, right? Not the popular choice for that seat, but I think he also reminded folks that he is ready to perform. He's always ready to perform. Do you like him, though? Have you had a chance to get to know him very much? Because I've known him from a lot of sports car stuff, but I don't know if others have gotten a chance to see him much.
Just, I got to meet him when he won an Indy Lights race for Tony George at Mid-Ohio, and then talked to him a few times. Will Power and him are pretty good friends. And he used to quiz me about why I was tough on Tony George during the split, and I tried to explain everything. And I said, if you continued dating a certain girl in the George family, you'd have a real good ride every year. But he didn't listen to me. So you went and saw Sebastian Bourdais this morning. How's he feeling?
Feeling okay. I mean, he's a huge crash. But as we said yesterday, the guy's got negative body fat, healthy as can be. He's going to recover faster than I would, for sure.
Do you remember anything about the crash, Marshall?
Didn't really, Didn't want to get into any of that, to be honest. Just wanted to go by, say hi, make sure he was doing okay. He had some other friends there from the paddock. There have been a lot of people coming to see him, which tells you how much regard they have for Seb. So just want to pop in real quick, say hi. Didn't want to intrude too much. So we will see the Frenchman back. He will be kicking ass next year. I know that he'd love to be in a car tomorrow if he could. Who wants to set what would have been the Saturday pole going into the Fast 9, look like you have your best shot ever at Indianapolis, and then be sitting 2-3 miles away in a hospital, having to miss the race while we're here doing this? I mean, it's one thing if you're running 28th. Right. It still sucks, but when you're potentially pole guy and you're out, it's hard to swallow.
All right. This morning we got to spend a couple hours at the IMS Museum. You doing your photographic magic with the AJ Foyt display, and we're going to make that. You're going to make that a little series.
Yeah, we're going to do 2 or 3 parts video series. We had Robin narrate that. I chimed in on a couple things, but that was a treat. We get to go in every year, thanks to Ellen there. Before it opens, get to go behind the barriers and have a lot of fun. So we did that with the Foyt display. Greatest display I've ever seen them do, Robin. I know that you were just over the moon about that. So that'll be coming up soon, as you said in the video, and as we'll continue to say. Go to the museum. It is the best $10 you're going to spend, and
unless you go to Taco Bell late at night, and they've got a deal there you can't believe.
I heard actually last night was the opposite. It was actually the most expensive meal our 2 friends from Chip Ganassi Racing had.
What did you name it?
Grand Theft Taco, which I then also saw that ESPN used. So I guess great minds think alike. So
first of all, we're glad nobody was hurt. Obviously, anytime somebody pulls a gun on you, that's serious matter. But I think it's funny because, Dixie and Dario and Kanan are all some of the best personalities in the paddock, and they had the gag order put on by Chip Ganassi, who then tweets a little while ago, well, I guess there goes my opportunity to get a sponsor from Taco Bell. Really, Chip? And you don't let the guys that were actually involved in the thing talk? This isn't Russia.
Yeah, Chip. This isn't Russia.
Okay.
Tell us about it. We can't close without something interesting. So Uncle Bobby Unser, 3-time Indy 500 winner. He's still doing a bit of driving in the paddock, I understand, and possibly knocking things down, Robin?
Well, I've heard it secondhand. I haven't talked to Unser today, but he evidently hit a street sign, knocked a couple women off the back of the golf cart, didn't get upside down. They called him in, and he's on probation for 2 days. He can't drive a golf cart unless he has a senior member of the IMS staff riding with him, but he'll be allowed to go on his own on Carb Day if he behaves.
So we should tell folks that we're going to be off for a couple days because there's nothing happening on track. You're going to be at home writing stories. I'll be in the
mailbag,
hotel.
Baby.
Mailbag. I'll be in the hotel writing a variety of things, a lot of retro content that's coming, more stuff. So this little video experiment will be back on Friday.
We appreciate you guys watching, and thanks for the feedback. And don't go to Taco Bell after 10 o'clock. Pruett, Miller, thanks for watching.